Hi, my name is Luke Jameson, and my topic for this persuasive speech will be if offshore drilling it should be allowed in marine protected areas. My audience for this speech will be my mom, and she will be sitting right across the table from me. Some of the most beautiful scenery that the earth has to offer for us is found offshore, and many of these offshore sites are so amazing because of the marine life and the shoreline. Laura Fravel, an author for National Geographic, did research on the topic and found that over 10,000 zoos and aquariums were set up across the world to display and showcase this marine life. And whether these zoos and aquariums are ethical is a topic for another day. Marine life is being harmed and endangered in many ways, including global warming, overfishing, and offshore drilling. Offshore drilling is when a deep sea oil rig is sent thousands of feet underwater to drill into an oil reservoir below the seabed. And the problem with these oil rigs is that any malfunction in the drill could be very dangerous and very damaging to marine life. And one thing that humans are doing in order to protect ocean life is setting up marine protected areas. These marine protected areas are set areas of land or ocean that are managed by the government, and their main goals are to protect ecosystems, preserve cultural resources such as shipwrecks or coral reefs, or to maintain production of fisheries. Oil spills often come from malfunctions in a drill or a transportation or a means of transportation for these oil companies will crash or have a leak in it, and one of these means of transportations crashing could lead to millions of gallons of oil being sent into the ocean, and this would cause an incalculable amount of injuries and death to marine life. As stated by the U.S. Department of Commerce and the NOAA, oil in the ocean water would cause many injuries to ocean life, including damage to reproductive organs and just organ failure in general. Sea turtles were one of the most abundant species in the Gulf of Mexico, and they still are, but on April 10th in 2010, when the Deepwater Horizon and offshore oil rig exploded and sunk in the Gulf of Mexico, it pumped about 134 million gallons of oil into the Gulf of Mexico, and this then led to the turtles being severely damaged. They're one of the most affected species in the Gulf of Mexico. Some of the effects on the turtles were decreased mobility, exhaustion, dehydration, overheating, a lack of ability to avoid predators, and even death. And although the chances of one of these offshore rigs leaking or exploding is low, and once the rig is used, it will just turn into habitat for the marine life, I feel like the risk of these rigs outweighs the reward. Marine life is one of the most interesting topics to me, as I want to become a marine biologist, and I feel as though marine life should be protected at all costs. Okay, Mom, you can come back in the video. is the end.